Hello, girls and boys. Welcome to Storytime Fun. I dedicate this next book to my grandchildren, Ethan, Denver, Summer, and Violet, who fill my heart with joy. Today's story is another one out of the Disney Winnie the Pooh 5-minute stories book. Although I seem to never be able to get them done in 5 minutes. But that's all right. Today's story is called Eeyore's Good Day. The sun was only just reaching its highest point in the sky over the 100-acre wood, but already it had been a friend-filled day for Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Early that morning, they had agreed it was a good day to visit all their friends. First, they had dropped in on Kanga and Roo, who were just finishing their breakfast. "What a pleasant surprise," Kanga had said, and she had welcomed them inside and set 2 more places at the table. Pooh had already had a full breakfast, but the walk to Kanga and Roo's house had made Pooh and Piglet hungry. Next, Pooh and Piglet had stopped at Rabbit's house, just in time for a mid-morning snack. Rabbit was happy to see his friends while he took a break from working on his garden. And later that morning, they had dropped in to say hello at Owl's. He was just beginning to fix his lunch and invited Pooh and Piglet to join him. I'm not sure we can stay for lunch," Piglet said. "We have a few more friends to visit." Pooh scratched his chin and rubbed his tummy, deep in thought. "Though I suppose that means we'd better keep up our strength," he said at last, and plopped down into one of Owl's chairs. Now, as Pooh and Piglet had made their way toward Eeyore's house, Pooh felt pleasantly full, while Piglet felt overstuffed. He hoped that Eeyore had no food to offer. "Good afternoon, Eeyore," Piglet called out as he and Pooh spotted their friends sitting in the sun. "Oh, hello," Eeyore replied glumly. "What brings you out to my gloomy part of the wood?" Pooh looked up at the blue sky and the bright sun. "It doesn't seem very gloomy to me," he said. Eeyore turned his eyes skyward. He said flatly. "I suppose you're right." "Is anything the matter, Eeyore?" Piglet asked. Eeyore thought it over. "No," he said at last. "I suppose nothing is the matter today." Pooh and Piglet looked at each other, puzzled. Neither was quite sure what to say. Nothing the matter? Usually Eeyore had at least one trouble to report, that his tail had fallen off, or his house had fallen down, or been moved when he wasn't looking. Eeyore lay down and sighed. A heavy sigh. "I guess this is what some folks would call a good day. I call it downright uncomfortable." Pooh scratched his head. "Uncomfortable?" he said. Eeyore nodded. "I'm not complaining," he said, "but nothing the matter feels an awful lot like something the matter to me." Suddenly Piglet had an idea. "Pardon me, Eeyore," he said. "I need to talk to Pooh for a second." Piglet pulled Pooh aside and whispered in his ear so that Eeyore could not hear. "Pooh Bear, I was wondering," Piglet began, "do you think Eeyore would feel better if something were the matter?" I think that very well may be, Pooh whispered back. I was thinking if you and I were to make something the matter, just temporarily, of course, perhaps Eeyore would feel more like himself, Piglet suggested. Pooh and Piglet decided they would ask Eeyore to come with them to visit Christopher Robin. They figured that would take his mind off his problems, or rather, his lack of problems. But on the way back to Eeyore, Piglet stopped to examine a tiny ladybug on a flower. Pooh, who was walking right behind him, didn't see Piglet stop. Uh-oh. Pooh stumbled over poor Piglet and flew through the air toward Eeyore. At that very last moment, Eeyore stepped out of the way and Pooh tumbled full speed into Eeyore's house. Eeyore's house came crashing down to the ground. Oh. Don't worry, Eeyore, Piglet reassured him. We'll rebuild it for you, won't we, Pooh? Yes, yes, Pooh replied, and he and Piglet went right to work, putting the house back together as Eeyore looked on. As Eeyore watched his friends rebuild his house, the smallest smile worked its way across his face. Was it because now there was something the matter, and that felt more natural to the gray donkey? Or was it watching two good friends working hard to cheer up another that made Eeyore's spirit lift? Whatever the reason, all three friends agreed it had turned out to be a very good day indeed. Well, that's it for today. See you next time.